Happening now, the latest in an hours-long standoff and hostage situation yesterday, plus where the rebranding of Jamestown High School's Imagery stands.
Well, it's basically rinse and repeat weather that we've had over the past couple of days. Scattered afternoon showers and storms pop up, but then we lose the humidity later in the week. We'll talk about it next as the News at Noon starts now.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
A very tense hostage standoff ended peacefully on the Cattaraugus Reservation in Collins yesterday. Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. New York State Police say it started as a high-speed chase between a state trooper and a man wanted in Chautauqua County for burglary. The chase then ended after the suspect slammed into another car which started on fire. That suspect, who police have not identified yet, finally got out of the car, taking a passenger who was inside as a hostage. The suspect then dragged a woman into a wooded area near Versailles Plank Road. Police say the man had a handgun and a knife. Heather Balstery watched that scene unfold in front of her car.
From there, it was just a huge accident, and within seconds, we saw police completely surround the vehicle, and they were instantly out of the cars and surrounding it with guns drawn, screaming at them to get out of the vehicle and put their hands on top of the car, but the suspect wouldn't get out of the car.
Just before 6:30, the suspect left that hostage okay. She is expected to be okay. Nearly an hour later, police were able to take the man into custody. Once they identify him, we will update our reporting at WNYNewsNow.com and on our free mobile app. Well, Jamestown police are investigating an attempted robbery at a local bank using a sticky trap device. Police say a man and woman pictured here attempted to retrieve bank deposits with that sticky device from an overnight deposit box at the Lakeshore Savings Bank on East 4th Street early Saturday morning. Well, bank employees reportedly located the device when they opened later that day. Police say it was designed to be used as a phishing-type instrument. When somebody deployed something into that box, it would then attach itself to a deposit bag, allowing the thieves to retrieve those deposits. But police say that device didn't work. It became stuck in the drop box and no deposits or funds were reported stolen. This comes after two similar incidents occurred earlier this spring at another local city bank. Jamestown Police Captain Robert Samuelson says the incidents are most likely not connected due to the nature and design of the device. The investigation remains ongoing at this hour. Anyone with information on the identity of the suspect shown is asked to contact Jamestown Police at 716-483-7537. Well, in a world ruled by digital technology, the Jamestown Fire Department is still using manual record-keeping methods for their reports, assessments, and documents. That's all about to change, according to the department's fire chief. WNY News Now's Jason Ruttman explains.
Probably our most effective solution is going to be to use a product called New World, which is similar to what law enforcement uses for their records management system.
That's Jamestown Fire Chief Matthew Kuhn, who says this system would not only help streamline the fire department's history and report keeping, but it would also interlink them with law enforcement and 911 operators.
It's going to be fully integrated. I believe it's going to be the most workable solution for us.
Chautauqua County Sheriff Captain Rick Telford is helping Kuhn find a feasible replacement system. After using New World for about 35 years, he spoke highly of the technology.
The police side, it works great that when a police report is written, it automatically draws in the information the dispatcher takes.
Telford says the system helps to save a lot of time and energy for policemen and women, something that the fire department hopes carries over for their employees as well. A question was brought up regarding what's going to prevent fire department workers from looking at sensitive information from other branches of law enforcement and community safety, with which New World is interconnected.
The fire department would not have access to anything that would be other than what would be fire-based.
The New World system will begin its implementation process before July 1st, but may not be solely used for another few years, as it will take time for the 17 years worth of records taken on the previously used system to be transitioned over to New World. For WNY News Now, I'm Jason Rutman.
Jason, thank you. This is just one of the many improvements that the department is working on now. Just this week, they also rolled out 2 brand new fire trucks. Well, the process to remove Jamestown High School's Red Raider mascot and logo took a step forward last night. The Jamestown Public School Mascot Committee recommended the district discontinue the J with feathers and find a new logo. The committee, reassembled by Superintendent Dr. Kevin Whitaker last year, was tasked with examining the school's mascot, imagery used, and nickname. School Superintendent Dr. Whitaker spoke to us today about what's next in the process now.
We're looking at a variety of images from a variety of schools across the country to determine what might be an appropriate image for us. Maybe it's a knight, maybe it's a pirate, maybe it's a panther or big cat, maybe it's a stylized version of the J in some way. Maybe it's a combination of all those things. So right now, the committee has looked through, just in terms of samples, I would guess 50 different samples across the different genres, and they're going to discuss what they think the direction might be. And then ultimately, we'll probably get to a point where there be maybe a recommendation of 2 or 3 different styles, and we'd probably put that out to a vote. We want to include our high school kids in that and our staff.
Now, the group's chair and district athletic director explains that the committee previously decided to stop using the Native American imagery in 2014, adopting the new logo with the J and feathers. However, a recent push from some in the community refueled the effort to rebrand, citing disrespect to Native Americans. Well, we thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. Let us know what you think about these stories and more in the comments down below. We always love to hear from you, or simply send us a wave emoji. We love to see you connect with the broadcast. And a lot of people yesterday were out and about on social media, I saw in some cases, Dakota, because there was that deluge of rain that moved across the afternoon, and that might have rained on a couple of plans out there. I know my grandparents specifically had their windows down and they were having lunch at a local restaurant. Well, they had to quickly rush out. I guess they should have been watching your forecast. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you know, it's the same thing we told you yesterday. You need to have the radar handy on your phone and look at it often when we have air masses like this, because these pop-up showers and storms will pop up out of nowhere, and we can't tell you when or where it's going to rain. Now, I wanted to show you the Warren City Bank camera for one reason. Not only do we have a police car on the bridge, not sure what's going on there, but notice how there's no rain here. But if you look at the radar, there actually has been a couple showers and storms that have bubbled up in Warren County near Youngsville, that is to the west of Warren. So if you're in downtown Warren, look west and you'll be able to see some of the clouds building from these pop-up showers and storms. Notice how they just pop up out of nowhere. And this is a problem we have in the weather industry of these summertime convection. We don't know why these storms pop up where they do, but they're just popping up. And it's going to be the same thing today. So it's almost a repeat of yesterday, where if you get a storm, you likely could get some very heavy rain. And we'll talk about the rainfall totals a little bit later on. I'll give you a hint. Some spots had over an inch just yesterday alone. 78 was the high yesterday, didn't make it into the 80s. 66 was where we started the day. 93 and 30 are the record highs and lows at the airport for today. So through the afternoon, yet another humid day. Scattered afternoon showers and thunderstorms develop. We already have them developing now. Not much wind out there, so that's not going to help. 78 to 84 with a light wind. Now, we do back the humidity down a little bit for tomorrow and Friday. Saturday should be dry. Then how's next week looking? We'll talk about it with that 7-day later in the show. Justin?
All right, Dakota, we'll see you back here in about 10 minutes, my friend. Thank you. An order allowing restaurant and bar patrons to purchase alcohol to go has been extended to July 5th here in New York. The order was originally established by Governor Andrew Cuomo at the start of the pandemic to help businesses impacted by COVID-19. Well, Cuomo told the state liquor authority to extend that order earlier in June. The new guidance includes the order may be extended further. In a recent survey, a majority of people said they want alcohol takeout and delivery rules for restaurants to stay in effect even after COVID is in the rearview mirror. The order has been extended several times. It was first established on March 16th. Well, as the local area and nation reopens following a year filled with COVID-19, many might still have some lingering questions, especially about what's next. Britt Conway is taking a look at the most recent numbers from the U.S. and how other countries are faring, along with some new travel advice from the CDC and an update on vaccinating kids as young as 5.
1 year ago today,
we have something that indeed turned out to be my worst nightmare. It has devastated the world, and it isn't over yet.
and it still isn't over. Yes, in a number of countries, including the U.S., new COVID-19 cases are dropping. So are hospitalizations and deaths. But in other parts of the world, more cases, more deaths. A two-track pandemic. That's what the World Health Organization called it in a new report, saying the biggest barrier to ending the pandemic remains sharing of doses, of resources, of technology. In the meantime, the CDC is working to differentiate between countries with severe outbreaks and others where COVID is sustained but controlled, updating its travel advice this week for more than 120 countries. The CDC also continues to assess vaccine safety and efficacy. A recent study found fully vaccinated people are more than 90% protected from infection, and even if they get infected, their symptoms are more mild and they're less likely to spread it. Right now, more than 50% of the population 12 years and older is fully vaccinated. Thursday, FDA vaccine advisors will consider authorizing vaccines for kids younger than 12, with Moderna looking to have data on its vaccine for children as young as 5 by September or October.
That's it.
I'm Britt Conway reporting.
Britt, thank you. World leaders are expected to make a crucial discussion about distributing vaccines to less wealthy nations when they gather for the G7 summit in the UK at the end of this week. Well, coming up next, a lot more news to tell you about why brush fires continue to be a problem in rural parts of our area. And later, the plans to revamp 4-H programming this summer after the Chautauqua County Fair was canceled yet again. Stay with us as WNY News Now continues.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvanna Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
Honest Jones has what you're looking for. When you want it good, we're gonna give you lots more.
From freshly made subs to the best of pizza and wings, Honest John's has what you're looking for. And now 2 great locations, East 2nd Street and Fairmount Avenue. Order takeout or delivery today online at honestjohns.pizza.
You're gonna get it good at Honest John's.
Have the best summer ever with endless adventures at Girl Scout Summer Camp. Financial aid available, open to all girls. For more information, call or go to gswny.org.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Well, brush fires are continuing to be a problem for first responders in Cattaraugus County. The state DEC forest rangers say there have been several fires over the past months, including a recent wildland fire that started this week. Fire crews from the Cattaraugus, Little Valley, Leon, Conewango, Randolph, and East Randolph departments responded to a large blaze last Wednesday at an old log milling site in Cattaraugus. The 1-acre fire, which burned mill slabs and brush, remains under investigation at this hour. The DEC burn ban, which was lifted last month, aims to reduce rural blazes during the dry spring months. However, officials recommend practicing good firekeeping behavior all summer to prevent blazes from beginning. Well, Vice President Kamala Harris declaring her first international trip to Mexico and Guatemala a success. despite criticism from both sides of the aisle. John Lawrence takes a look.
Vice President Kamala Harris is pushing back on criticism she has not visited the U.S.-Mexico border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I don't understand the point that you're making.
Harris is in Central America this week, leading the Biden administration's efforts to stop the flow of migration.
The problem at the border, in large part, if not entirely, stems from the problems in these countries.
Republican critics blasting the administration's response at the border, where a record number of unaccompanied children crossed into the U.S. this spring.
They know if they go, it'll drive the coverage, and they don't have a solution to this crisis, so they're prepared for it to just get worse and worse and worse.
I want to be clear to folks in this region who are thinking about making that dangerous trek to the United States-Mexico border. Do not come. Do not come.
The administration also facing backlash from the left for comments made in Guatemala. Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez tweeting her disappointment. Still, Harris is declaring her trip a success.
We came out of that trip with agreements to establish an anti-corruption task force.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
John, thank you. As part of the efforts to address the root causes of migration, Vice President Harris says she has also struck a deal with the Guatemalans to create an anti-smuggling and trafficking task force and an agreement to create a young women's empowerment initiative dedicating $40 million to that. Well, New York's Attorney General could sue gun manufacturers under certain scenarios via a bill that passed the state Senate and Assembly yesterday. For example, gun manufacturers could face a lawsuit for harming the public by failing to take steps to prevent firearms from being sold unlawfully. A gun manufacturer would not have to purposefully harm the public to be held liable under this bill. Democrats and anti-gun violence groups have decried the Federal Protection of Lawful Commerce in Arms Act, which gave gun manufacturers immunity from lawsuits related to the criminal misuse of their products. Now, opponents to the bill argue that gun manufacturers can still be held liable if they violate other laws concerning the sale or marketing of firearms. It's unclear, however, whether that argument would hold up in court. If the legislature passed a package of anti-gun violence bills ranging from a ban on possession ghost guns that lack serial numbers to a ban on the purchase of weapons by anyone facing an outstanding arrest warrant or a felony or serious offense as well. Well, I've got some exciting news out of Gerry. Organizers of their annual rodeo are planning to host the summer event. The Gerry Fire Department voted this week to hold the 76th installment of the rodeo from August 4th through the 7th. Officials say that as more COVID restrictions are lifted, they feel it's possible to safely bring back professional rodeo to the area. The event will include 4 performances at the department's outdoor arena along Route 60. Traditional barbecue beef dinners will also be included in this year's festivities as well. Oh, so excited, can't wait for it. I see that fried dough. I mean, that would, who doesn't love that? Thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. Let us know what you think about these stories and more in the comments down below. Dakota, I can tell you that's the one thing I really did miss about festivals. Obviously, yeah,
it's
everybody's
the fried dough,
being together, but it's the fried dough and the food. I mean, that's what I loved about the fair, and it's ironic. We're actually coming up, we have a story talking about this new unfair event that's coming. I guess I got to get the tease in there, so stay tuned for that. But it's good. It's good to see festivals are back here locally. It's incredible.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, I know that the rodeo is a very popular thing around here. Now, I've never been to the rodeo personally, but I know a lot of people go every summer, and, you know, I know a lot of people who go, and man, it's nice to see it back. But something that you might have saw yesterday was some very ominous skies. Let's go in there and take a look at it. Sean Sweatman sending this in. Of course, Sean pilots our storm interceptor, and this was out in Clymer yesterday. Now, there was no severe weather across the region yesterday, but if you looked at the skies, yeah, it looked a little ominous out there with those cloud cover, and that has to do with those pop-up storms that came through the area yesterday with those torrential rainfall downpours as well. And speaking of the rainfall, here is the rainfall totals: over an inch in Mayville just yesterday alone, an inch, almost an inch in Cattaraugus, in the town of Cattaraugus, over half an inch in Kennedy, also the same thing in Gerry, over a half inch here in town, and a little less than a quarter of an inch in Falconer. So when those storms formed, you got a downpour where they formed, and man, and it's going to be another day of that today. Tomorrow, Tarp Skunks at home. First time in 2 years we will see baseball here in Jamestown. Yes, the Tarp Skunks versus the Muck Dogs at 7 o'clock at the Russell E. Dietrich Park here in Jamestown. 78 degrees at the first pitch at 7 o'clock, down to 75 by the 7th inning stretch, and by the time we go to the 9th inning, 72. Now, hopefully we'll be able to play this game. Of course, with the rain, we'll have to see how the ground conditions are at the field, but hopefully we should be able to play the game, and we will have our first baseball game in 2 years here in Jamestown. I know it's hard to believe, but it's coming back, folks, and you're going to like it. Here we go with the DoubleTree camera. Shows you some of those clouds starting to build downtown right now. We're at 78, a light wind, but there's that dew point of 67, so it feels more like 80 degrees right now, and that is going to be a factor through the day today. That humidity still going to be fueling those afternoon showers and thunderstorms out there today. And you'll see on First Defense Doppler, this is what I was showing you earlier. These storms have already popped up in Warren County. In fact, there's a little storm cell there. It's called a skit, and it will track it here. Notice the forward motion, 2 miles an hour. That might be a bit slow, but you're getting the idea that these are very slow moving storms. And again, notice how they just pop up at random, just out of nowhere. And again, the same thing I told you earlier, it's a mystery. We don't know why these storms pop up where they do, and we can't tell you where they're going to pop up. Just have the radar handy and head indoors. When you hear thunder, you do what, Justin? You head indoors,
yeah.
Right? Yes, when
Hide
thunder
under
roars.
the dining room table.
Yes, when thunder roars, head
With my
indoors.
dog.
And don't drive through flooded areas either. You know what we say, turn around, don't drown. So here we go with Future Scan. The same thing I've been telling you over the past couple of days. This is a computer model simulation. So the storms will likely not be in this same location, but you get the idea that showers and thunderstorms are going to pop up through the afternoon. And we may see a couple more by the evening hours tonight. And again, not in that exact location likely. They go to bed tonight, partly to mostly cloudy tonight. Now tomorrow, the better chance for any rain is going to stay south of the southern tier into northwestern Pennsylvania. And you'll see Future Scans not being optimistic about tomorrow either. But the chance of rain does diminish tomorrow as we do lose a little bit of the humidity in the air. Now Saturday, we still have the Pride Festival going on, 69 at 9 a.m. For the flag raising. As we go to the afternoon hours, I do think we may go mostly sunny for at least a good part of the afternoon, around 78. And by the time we go to 7 o'clock, it should be around 77 degrees. And we are hopeful that the rain will stay away. I've got the future for you right there on the screen. 81 tomorrow, 79 on Friday. It turns much less humid, so we won't have that stickiness in the air. Saturday, as we go into Sunday and Monday, we bring in a chance for a couple scattered showers, and then by Tuesday, look at that, much more refreshing air with a good amount of sun. We'll take a break. Be right back.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
but 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
It's not just what we say, it's what we do.
Local first. It isn't just our slogan. It's our mindset every single day. So whether you're watching our daily live streams or staying up to date with reports on our website and mobile app, you'll always see the same attention to detail from reporters who passionately care about our community, who have one goal in mind: to always put the facts first.
For me, it's more than just getting the forecast right. What I love the most about my job is that I come into work every day to help break down the weather, letting people know how this is going to impact their day. We take pride that First Defense Weather is the only local weather team in the Southern Tier. We don't just copy and paste our weather from outside sources. Every part of our forecast is handmade right here in-house, something our team really takes pride in.
What matters to you matters to us. Every story, every day. WNY News Now, where coverage comes first. You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
Chautauqua County's 4-H development program is planning to host an unfair event in July that would highlight the work of local youth. This after the county fair was called off once again this year. The Cornell Cooperative Extension says the 4-H celebration will happen July 21st through the 25th at the Chautauqua County Fairgrounds in Dunkirk. Now, traditionally, the county fair plays host to the 4-H group, providing space for youth members to exhibit their projects. Now, those who participate in beef, dairy, goat, hog, horse, poultry, rabbit, and sheep endeavors will show and exhibit during that week. The event is open to 4-H members and members of their immediate household only, though. The group is asking for donations to help fund that program. It can be made online. We have a link to that at our site now. Additionally, the 57th annual 4-H meat animal sale will be the only portion of the program open to in-person and public participation. That'll happen Saturday, July 27th at noon. An estimated 60 hogs, 8 goats, 35 pairs of chickens, 28 lambs, and 15 steers will be sold during that live auction to the highest bidder. And certainly those kids work really, really hard. So it's awesome to see that they're able to have their fruits of labor on display. And really, when we talked about the fair going off for another year, which the big reason, Dakota, the fair director, explained to us last month at this time, actually, when they made that announcement, was because they didn't have guidance from the state. And then coincidentally, the next week, the state released the guidance.
Mm-hmm.
That's how these things work, it seems
Yeah, that's
like.
how it always goes.
Yeah. But either way, next year they hope to have it back.
But the thing is, if they wouldn't have called off the fair, we still wouldn't have guidance. Because that's how it always goes.
Right, because that's where the push came from. You look at what officials said, and that they said, okay, well, we can't have our fair, so can you give some clarity for other fairs that are going to be taking place? So it was an interesting time, and I think people are just trying to get back to normal, right? That's what we want.
Now, my question is, does any of those 4-H members have a 4-H pig diary?
They might.
Because Rose Nyland did.
Yeah.
On the Golden Girls.
Right.
She kept a diary about raising 2 pigs.
Right.
And she got a 4-H pig diary badge for it.
And the thing is, when you think of these 4-H programs, we've highlighted this a couple times. You think, okay, inner city youth, right? They have after school programs, and they're both so important, both two different aspects. But the 4-H really builds some awesome skills for a lot of these youth who live on a farm. Maybe they don't live on a farm. They just live in an area where you could have a pig or a chicken, because you obviously have to have a facility of it. It's not like you could do it in Jamestown. At least you don't tell anybody about it, right? The police probably wouldn't be that happy.
You could have a chicken coop in your garage if you keep it hush-hush.
I don't think technically, though. That'd be interesting to look up.
It might be
Does
illegal,
the city code allow chicken coops?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I would
Where's
imagine
Sunquist?
no.
Please let us know.
Yeah, maybe we'll have Matt go check that up, because he can look on for us. He's good at research. So give him the research job. Good to see Pam, Lisa, Diane, Thomas. Wendy really wanted to quickly. I feel so bad. Our producer's like, Justin, you forgot to do the comments earlier today. I'm sorry, guys. Wendy, she says she worked in that fried dough stand about the rodeo story, and that's where she met her husband. That's so awesome. Oh, That's good. I'm glad we're going to have these festivals back, because what else are we to do this summer? We're going to be.
It's going to be hot, muggy, and instead of just sitting around the air conditioning,
get out,
go out
and enjoy.
I guess.
Absolutely. All right, well, that's going to do it for us today. Hopefully you enjoyed this show. We are back tomorrow with our Thursday edition live here at noon. We'll leave you with a live look over Chautauqua Lake. And if you're on the go, you can easily stay in the know by downloading our mobile app. Just search WNY News Now in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store.